In the end, when the doctors told me the cancer was terminal, I took the last $20,000 meant for my treatment and left it for my wife, Elara. She thought I was faking it. The night I died, she was on a date with her first love. No matter how much our daughter, Lily, pleaded with her, Elara refused to come home to see me one last time. After I passed, my bank accounts were frozen as per my will. Elara, oblivious, accused me and Lily of pulling a cruel prank, of ganging up on her. By the time the reality of my death finally pierced through her denial, it was far, far too late. 2 months ago, the diagnosis came down like a guillotine: terminal. I refused the doctor's proposed treatment plan. It wasn't that we couldn't afford it, but if all it bought me was another 3 months of agony, the money wasted could sustain my wife for years. I was the pillar of our family. If I spent everything on myself, what would happen to her and our daughter? I don't have much time left, I told her, my voice thin. There's no point wasting money on this illness. This $20,000 might be the last I ever earn for this family. Keep it for Lily's tuition and your living expenses. I expected tears, panic, anything but the flash of impatience in her eyes. So, you're tired of me because I can't earn money? If you don't want to support me anymore, just say it. Elara snapped, her voice cold. Her words struck me with a wave of guilt. It was true. My ability to provide was ending. The thought of leaving her and Lily unprotected terrified me. She hadn't been part of the workforce for over a decade. How would she manage to support herself, let alone our daughter? I'm not tired of you, I whispered, my head bowed. I'm just worried about you. When I'm gone, you'll have to be more careful with money. You can't be so extravagant anymore. She cut me off before I could finish. And you say you're not tired of me? You just accused me of being extravagant. If you want a divorce, do it now. Don't think I don't have other options. Plenty of men would be happy to have me, she said, her voice rising with anger. No, that's not what I mean at all. Honey, please don't be angry. Her attitude towards me had been sour for a long time, but I tried to understand. She was beautiful, a flower that had never faded. When we were young, wealthy suitors lined up for her. Yet, she chose me, a man of modest means, and gave me a brilliant, kind-hearted daughter. I was eternally grateful. I always saw her as a grown-up child, prone to tantrums that I, as her husband, should patiently endure. My philosophy was simple: a woman is meant to be cherished. I couldn't bear to let her down. Marrying you was the worst mistake of my life, she muttered. She snatched the bank card, stuffing it into her purse. I've invited some old college friends over for dinner tonight, she commanded, a queen addressing a servant. Make us a full-course meal. Don't you dare embarrass me, understand? But my body was a vessel of pain. Even the simple act of turning over in bed sent shockwaves through me. Cooking an entire feast might actually kill me. Fine, don't do it then, she said with a cold shrug. When my friends find out what a useless husband I have, I'll be the one who's humiliated, not you. No, I'll do it. Of course, I'll do it. Don't be angry, honey. I would never let you be embarrassed. I forced a smile, though it felt like my face was cracking. She wasn't moved. With a contemptuous snort, she turned and left. I swallowed 5 painkillers, waiting for the dull ache to replace the sharp, stabbing agony. Once the pain subsided to a manageable level, I dragged myself out of bed. The refrigerator was nearly empty, so I had to endure the excruciating trip to the supermarket. Downstairs, the weight of the grocery bags felt like it was tearing my muscles from my bones. By the time I made it back to our apartment, the effect of the painkillers was already wearing off, a testament to how rapidly the disease was consuming me. But I had made a promise. I couldn't let Elara down, not in front of her friends. After a brief rest, I pushed through the waves of pain and cooked a lavish, multi-course meal. When it was done, I retreated to the bedroom, collapsing onto the bed, every nerve screaming. I felt like I was dying right there. I don't know how much time passed. Through a dizzying haze, I heard the front door open, followed by a cacophony of voices. Arthur, what is the meaning of this? I forced my eyes open, the figures in my doorway blurring and swaying. Honey, you're back? I managed, my teeth clenched against a surge of pain. The food is all ready. You all go ahead and eat. Don't worry about me. My friends are here, and you're hiding in the bedroom? You said you didn't want to embarrass me. Is it so hard for you to just show your face? If you didn't want to, you shouldn't have bothered making dinner at all, she raged, pointing an accusing finger at me. A pang of sadness hit me. I didn't blame her for being angry. If my body wasn't so broken, I would be out there with her, playing the gracious host. It was this damned disease that had made me useless. I'm coming. Honey, just help me up, I said, reaching out a trembling hand. She recoiled as if my touch would poison her. Stop playing the victim. Come out if you want. I don't care if you don't. She spun around and left, slamming the door behind her with a resounding crack. I pulled myself out of the bedroom and shuffled into the living room. There were about a dozen people there, their loud chatter and laughter making my head feel like it was about to split open. The figures swam before my eyes. I couldn't even see their faces clearly. Leaning heavily against the sofa to catch my breath, I raised a hand in a weak wave. Hello, everyone. I gasped, struggling to keep my head up. Welcome to our home. My greeting was met not with replies, but with snickers and cruel jokes. Elara, I thought you said you were calling your husband, not your grandpa. Did you marry an old man for his inheritance, Elara? Smart move. Huh, he really does look like he's about to kick the bucket. So this is why you turned me down back in the day? I never knew you had a thing for old men. Laughter echoed around the room. I'm sorry, I stammered, using the last of my strength. I've been sick lately, my health. It isn't very good. They were so loud, I doubt anyone even heard me. Elara stormed over to me and gave me a hard shove. I told you to come out and say hello. If you didn't wanna, you should have stayed in your room, she hissed. What are you standing there for? Go clean up the dining room. Are you waiting for me to do it myself? You useless, embarrassing thing. I slowly turned, using the wall for support, and made my way to the kitchen. After I had cleaned everything, I returned to find the living room had quieted down. Most of the guests had left, but two figures remained, tangled together on the sofa. It was my wife, Elara, and her first love, Julian. Elara, we shouldn't, Julian murmured, though he made no move to push her away. You've stayed single all these years. Weren't you waiting for me? She purred. But this is your home. It's not right. Get up. What are you afraid of? You think that useless husband of mine would dare to do anything? Even so, Elara, I've always loved you, but I can't. My heart didn't just break, it atomized. She was flaunting her affair with another man, in my home, right in front of me. The pain of my illness magnified 1,000 times, becoming a purely emotional agony. Was it because I had become so passionless, so sick, that I had drained all the joy from her life? Arthur, get back to your room. I had been standing frozen by the kitchen door. Now, Elara's sharp command cut through my stupor. She was sitting on Julian's lap, pointing at me like I was a dog to be dismissed. I forced a bitter twist onto my lips and, leaning on the wall, shuffled back to the bedroom. Staring at my reflection in the mirror, I could barely recognize the man looking back. I wasn't even 40, yet I looked like a withered 70-year-old. My face was skeletal, my hair nearly all gone. How could a monster like me ever deserve someone as vibrant as her? When I lay back down, I felt the last of my energy drain away. The exertion of the afternoon had taken its final toll. I knew I wouldn't make it through the night. As the pain in my body began to recede into a strange numbness, my life flashed before my eyes. She hadn't always been like this. When we were first married, she was gentle, kind, and understanding. She still had the face of her youth, while I was a walking corpse. A bitter laugh escaped my lips. Suddenly, I heard a commotion outside. Mom. It was Lily's voice. Who is this man? You brought another man into our house. Don't be so dramatic. He might just be your future father. You're insane. How could Dad have been so blind to marry you? Don't you know he's sick? Sick? You mean faking it? I can't even talk to you. The sound of hurried footsteps approached, and my bedroom door creaked open. Lily tiptoed in, closing it gently behind her. She sat on the edge of my bed. Dad, what happened to you? It had only been 2 weeks since she last saw me. Seeing my emaciated form, her nose scrunched up and she burst into tears. Don't cry, sweetheart. Everyone has to go someday. Just seeing you one last time. I can rest easy now. My body felt impossibly light. Seeing Lily's tear-streaked face brought a pang of sorrow, but also a deep sense of peace. In this world, she was my only anchor. I had wanted to shield her from this, but today, I had texted her and told her everything. But Dad, the doctor's report said you had another month. Why are you talking like tonight is? She choked out, her eyes bloodshot. Silly girl, don't cry. I smiled, raising a weak hand to wipe a tear from her cheek. Though it broke my heart to leave her, I had to say goodbye. My will is already written, sweetheart. Everything goes to you. Daddy can't earn money for you anymore, so you have to be frugal. Your mother, she has a difficult temper. You're grown up now, so be patient with her, okay? And you have to take good care of yourself. I gave her my last instructions, and she nodded through her sobs. My voice grew fainter. In a panic, she grabbed her phone and dialed for an ambulance. I died on the way to the hospital. My consciousness floated in the air. I looked down at my own cold, still body on the stretcher in the ambulance, finally free from all pain. I saw Lily collapsed over me, weeping uncontrollably. I reached out to stroke her hair. "Silly girl, don't cry. Daddy is still watching over you." My hand passed right through her. I knew then that I was truly gone. She would never hear my voice again. Following my will, Lily arranged a simple funeral for me. She made one last call to Elara. "Dad is dead. He was just cremated, and he's about to be buried. Aren't you even going to come see him one last time?" Lily's voice was devoid of all emotion. "You don't have to fake his death to play the victim card, do you? All you two know how to do is lie. You're just like your father. Why did I ever have a daughter like you?" Elara's furious voice crackled over the phone. "Elara, are you even human? Your husband is dead, and you're still spouting this venom? Dad was diagnosed with a terminal illness 2 months ago. Do you want me to send you the death certificate?" Lily screamed, her composure finally breaking. "Keep trying. Maybe if you act a little better, I'll believe you." The line went dead. "Damn you," Lily cursed, throwing her phone aside. She knelt before my freshly placed headstone and began to cry, her small shoulders shaking with grief. At that moment, I felt a phantom pang in my chest. I had held out a sliver of hope that she would come to say a final goodbye. I never imagined she would think I was faking it. It was my fear that she wouldn't be a good mother to Lily that made me write the will as I did, leaving everything to our daughter. My intuition had been correct. "Don't cry, sweetheart. You have to be strong," I whispered, kneeling beside her, patting her shoulder. She couldn't hear me, but she seemed to sense something. She slowly got to her feet, a new, stubborn strength in her slender frame. "Dad, you can go in peace," she said, her gaze firm. "I'll take care of myself. It's Elara's loss that she didn't value you. She will regret this." Looking at her determined eyes, I knew that on this day, my little girl had truly grown up. With me gone and her mother unreliable, she would have to depend on herself from now on. "Lily, I don't want to leave you. I'll watch you grow up," I promised the empty air. With my will in hand, Lily completed the inheritance process. The house was my premarital property, so it now belonged solely to her. My savings, the critical illness, payment from my company, and the death benefit, it was all hers. Knowing her mother's penchant for spending, the first thing she did was close all of my bank accounts. She returned to the empty, silent house. Without turning on the lights, she sat in the living room and cried alone for a long time. I stayed with her in the darkness, a silent, helpless guardian. After a while, she picked up her phone and dialed Elara. "Mom, I'm home. I think we need to talk. Can you come back?" Lily's voice was eerily calm. "Oh, I want to have a talk with you too." "All right," came Elara's venomous reply. Half an hour later, the door swung open and in walked Elara, dressed to the nines and painted like a showgirl. She flipped on the lights, saw Lily on the sofa, and sat down opposite her. "Sitting in the dark like that, trying to scare me to death? Would that make you happy?" Unexpectedly, Lily didn't react with anger. She slowly lifted her gaze. "Dad is gone," she said softly. "From now on, it's just the two of us in this house." "Huh? Still playing this game with me? I have a question for you. I went shopping today, and they told me my card was canceled." "What?" Elara demanded. "Dad is dead. The bank closed his accounts. Is there a problem?" Lily finally met her mother's gaze, her eyes cold as ice. "I am the sole heir to his estate. If you ever want a single cent from me, you will go to his grave, get on your knees, and apologize." I saw then that she truly had grown up. Her eyes held the steady composure of an adult. She had my shadow in her. A wave of sadness washed over me. When I was alive, I could mediate the tension between them. Now that I was gone, I wasn't sure peace was possible. "Arthur!" Elara roared, jumping to her feet. She stormed through the house, searching every room. When she couldn't find me, she returned to the living room, fuming. "Where did your father go? Tell him to get out here and give me a reasonable explanation for why he canceled the bank cards," she shouted. Lily's brow furrowed in annoyance, but she maintained her patience. "I told you Dad is dead. Here is the death certificate. See for yourself." She pulled the document out and slammed it onto the coffee table. Elara snatched it, glanced at it for a second, then tore it to shreds and threw the pieces in our daughter's face. "You two would stoop to this, just to keep money from me? You even forged a death certificate? If you don't want to give me money, just say so. Do you really think your father is the only man in the world willing to spend money on me? How ridiculous." "And you," she sneered, turning on Lily. You are my own flesh and blood. How could you side with your father against me? Are you that cold-hearted? Lily's shoulders trembled with rage. She couldn't believe her mother could be so obstinate. In that moment, I could see my daughter's hope for her mother completely shatter. You tell your father that if he doesn't give me the money, I'm divorcing him, Elara said coldly. Dad's civil registration has been canceled. You can remarry whenever you like. And from this moment on, I am severing our mother-daughter relationship. When you're old, don't you dare come looking for me to take care of you. You little monster. Elara exploded. She strode over to Lily and raised her hand. Instinctively, I rushed to intervene, but my hand passed through Elara's arm. A sharp crack echoed in the room. A red handprint bloomed on Lily's cheek. That slap shattered my daughter's heart, and it shattered mine. How could she be so cruel? I was really dead. Why couldn't she believe it? This is my house. Please leave, Lily said, her voice freezing. Your house? Without me, there would be no you. You disowned me, your own mother, and now you want to kick me out of my own home? Go ask Arthur if he has the guts to do that. Or is this a new plan? The two of you ganging up to throw me out? Fine, I'll go, but don't you dare regret this. Elara grabbed her designer bag and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. This time, Lily didn't cry. She stared up at the ceiling, her jaw set with a steely resolve. Dad, did you see that? She whispered. She has no humanity. She doesn't even care if you're alive or dead. Please don't blame me for not giving her any money. Sweetheart, how could I ever blame you? It's all my fault. I sighed, my ghostly form slumping beside her. A seed of resentment towards Elara began to sprout in my heart. She used to just have a bad temper. She was never this inhuman. Why had she become this way? Was it my fault? I gave her endless tolerance. I would have plucked the moon from the sky for her. Why did she repay me with such heartlessness? Over the next few days, Lily took time off from school. Sensing something was deeply wrong with Elara's recent behavior, she hired a private investigator to follow her. Soon, my daughter had her answer. Elara was spending all her time with a man named Julian. Hotel check-in records appeared daily. The name Julian was familiar. It was Elara's first love, a man. She had mentioned wistfully more than once. Lily had known of his existence, but she could never have imagined that so soon after my death, her mother would be so eager to rekindle an old flame. The investigator's report was damning. Julian, my husband has cut me off, Elara cooed, nestled in his arms. I don't even have money for our hotel rooms anymore. What should I do? So this was where all her tenderness went. She saved it for her first love. Don't worry, I have money. I'll take care of you, Julian said, holding her close. I don't want to be with him anymore. If I divorce him, will you marry me? She asked. A flicker of panic crossed Julian's eyes, but he masked it quickly, pulling her tighter. Haven't I been waiting for you all these years? But I'm in my 30s now. I'm not young anymore, Elara said, pouting. Even if you were 50 or 60, in my heart, you'll always be young, always the most beautiful, Julian purred. Oh, you're so good to me, she whimpered, starting to cry theatrically. My husband and daughter are ganging up on me. I can't stand to be in that house anymore. Don't cry, baby. I'm here, Julian said, his face a mask of concern. They're awful. How could they bully someone as gentle and kind as you? You're the only one who's good to me. Julian, I'll love you forever. Me too. A moment later, Julian's phone rang. He excused himself and returned a few minutes later, getting dressed. Something's come up with the business. I have to go to the office. I can't stay with you tonight, he said, planting a kiss on her forehead. But I want you to stay with me, she whined. I have to make money. How else can I support you? He reasoned. Okay, then, she relented. My soul followed Julian. He hailed a taxi and went not to a gleaming office tower, but to a rundown apartment building in an old part of the city slated for demolition. When he entered his home, a worried-looking woman rushed to meet him. Where have you been? Why are you out all night, every night? Is work that busy? Our son is sick. I'm sorry, the boss has his eye on me for a promotion. He keeps making me work overtime. What's more important, your job or your child? Our son, of course. Come on, let's take him to the hospital. He told my wife he was single, that he had waited his whole life for her. It was all a lie. He had a wife and a child. What a despicable pair. Neither of them was any good. My spirit returned to my daughter's side. It was late, but she was awake, carefully going through my belongings. Dad, she murmured to the empty room. Mom is having an affair. It would break your heart if you knew, wouldn't it? You were so kind, so good to her. How could she? Her father was gone, and her mother didn't care. To think she had to face such a cruel reality at her young age was a torment to my soul. But she was strong. She would get through this. I didn't want my wife and daughter to be enemies, but thinking of Elara's actions filled me with a cold resentment. Lily opened her phone and read the full report from the investigator, including Julian's personal details. Not only had he pretended to be single, but he had also pretended to be wealthy. After a long silence, she made a call to Elara. "You'd rather be another man's mistress than come see Dad one last time?" she asked icily. "Don't you start. If he wants to be dead, let him be dead. And who are you calling a mistress? Julian is single, and he runs his own company. He promised he would marry me. If you apologize to me now, I might let you be a rich man's stepdaughter one day." Lily let out a short, bitter laugh. "Dad gave you 20 to 30,000 a month. Wasn't that enough for you? What's 20,000? That's barely enough for a new handbag. Julian said he'd give me 100,000 a month. You're still young, you don't understand how much things cost. So, are you going to apologize or not?" Elara's voice was haughty, completely lost in the fantasy Julian had woven for her. The last flicker of hope in Lily's eyes died out. I had lost all hope for her too. "You won't believe it until you have nothing left. Don't come crawling to me then." This time, it was Lily who hung up the phone, pressing the end call button with a sense of finality. "Dad, I don't want her as my mother anymore," she whispered. "Will you forgive me? She doesn't deserve to be my mother. Do whatever you feel is right, sweetheart. How could I ever blame you? She doesn't deserve you." I tried to comfort her, and whether she felt my presence or simply found strength within herself, her gaze hardened with determination. A few days later, Elara ran out of money. The cards I gave her were her only source of income, and now they were all useless. That night, she called Julian out again. Lily had been tracking her mother's movements. Once the investigator confirmed Elara and Julian had checked into a hotel, she took out her phone. She had Julian's wife's phone number. She sent a single text message. "Are you aware your husband is out playing the rich bachelor and cheating on you?" A reply came back almost instantly. "Who is this? Is this some kind of scam? I've sent you the hotel and room number. Whether you want to catch them in the act is up to you." Lily ignored the subsequent messages. She had already sent the hotel check-in record. It was irrefutable proof. No further explanation was necessary. Julian's wife had already grown suspicious of his late nights and frequent absences. The text message confirmed her worst fears. She never imagined the gentle, loving man she married could be living a double life. Consumed by rage, she immediately called her brother and several other relatives and sped towards the hotel. Inside the room, Elara was wrapped around Julian. "When are you going to marry me?" she asked, her voice like a teenager's. "As soon as you divorce your husband," Julian lied smoothly. "I'll file for divorce immediately," she declared. "Wonderful," he said, his face a canvas of insincerity that Elara failed to see. "That bastard Arthur froze all my cards," she pouted. "I don't want to go back home. Can you give me some money for now?" Julian had only been playing with her. He had perfected the role of the rich, romantic bachelor, a persona he used to manipulate countless women. The moment she asked for money, he had his exit strategy ready. He had gotten what he wanted without spending much. It was no loss to him. "What terrible timing," he said with feigned regret. "I just invested all my liquid cash into a new project yesterday. As soon as the funds are freed up, it's all yours. Don't you have credit cards? Just use those for now. They're all frozen. I have no money left. Okay, let me see what I can do. Don't worry, I'll get you a sum tomorrow. How about 100,000? Is that enough?" "That's enough for a few days. You're the best. I love you so much." Bam! Before they could react, the hotel room door was kicked open. A group of 7 or 8 people stormed in, surrounding the bed. Elara shrieked and pulled the blanket up to her chin. "What are you doing? I paid for this room. Get out." Julian froze, his face turning ashen as he saw his wife and her family. "So this is why you're never home. You're out cheating, while your son is sick at home. Julian, you animal, how could you do this to me? To our child?" his wife screamed, her face contorted with rage. What? She's your wife," Elara stammered, looking at Julian in disbelief. "You knew he was married, you little tramp. You seduced my sister's husband. I'm going to kill you today." A burly man, Julian's brother-in-law, roared. He leaped onto the bed and began stomping viciously on both of them. "What are you all waiting for? Kill these 2 adulterers." The room erupted in violence. "You steal other women's husbands. You slut, you look like a fox demon. I'll tear your face apart." Julian, you bastard. I told you the day you married my sister. If you ever hurt her, I would kill you. The others joined in, a flurry of fists and feet. Soon, Elara and Julian were bloody messes on the floor, barely able to move. Take pictures. Put them on the internet and expose them, the brother-in-law shouted, pulling out his phone. The others quickly followed suit. After the beating, Julian's wife, still not satisfied, summoned her remaining strength and slapped both of their faces hard. Julian, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. After the mob left, Elara huddled in a corner, her eyes vacant and staring. Her dream of marrying into wealth and becoming a pampered wife had been brutally shattered. Elara, I'm sorry. Julian croaked from the floor. A surge of adrenaline shot through Elara. She scrambled up, grabbed a heavy glass ashtray from the nightstand, and launched herself at him. You bastard. You lied to me. I'll kill you. She brought the ashtray down on his head, stunning him. After a few more blows, Julian's survival instinct kicked in. He was a man. And when he fought back, Elara was no match. He threw her off, pinned her to the ground, and began slapping her face relentlessly. You bitch, you dare hit me? If you hadn't been throwing yourself at me every day, I never would have fallen for it. Now my wife and my entire family. No. Years of my hard work, all gone. It's all your fault, you slut. You think a whore, like you can marry into a rich family? Dream on. I'll kill you. Julian had snapped. His mask of civility was gone, revealing the monster beneath. He snatched the ashtray from her hand and began smashing it against her head, again and again. After 5 or 6 blows, Elara went limp, but Julian didn't stop. His life was ruined, and in his blind rage, he directed all his fury at her. My soul sat nearby, watching him beat my wife into unconsciousness. I felt no pity, no pain. She had brought this upon herself. The commotion in the room drew a crowd in the hallway. Hotel security soon burst in, restraining Julian and calling the police and an ambulance. Julian was arrested, and Elara was rushed to the emergency room. Doctors managed to save her life, but the damage was severe. Her face required over 200 stitches, leaving a hideous, jagged scar that ran from her temple to her chin. Her once beautiful face was destroyed. For causing such grievous harm, Julian faced a long prison sentence for aggravated assault. His wife filed for divorce. His life was over. The short video of the hotel room confrontation went viral online. Someone leaked both of their personal details, and they became infamous. While Elara was still recovering in the hospital, opportunistic live streamers and tabloid reporters tracked her down. Look everyone, it's her. This is the woman from the video, Elara Sue. One shouted into his phone. Caught in bed with her lover, then beaten to a pulp by him. I heard she got over 200 stitches in her face. Look at that scar. It's hideous. Talk about karma. Elara lay alone in the hospital for days. When she had recovered a little, she thought of her daughter. She called Lily. Lily, Mommy was wrong. I want to come home. Can you and your father forgive me? She sobbed. She finally knew she was wrong. I could hear the genuine regret in her voice, and I knew Lily could too. But it was too late. Lily had given her so many chances. Just because you apologize, does that mean I have to forgive you? Lily's voice was frigid. Mommy is in the hospital. I have 200 stitches in my face. Can you please come see me? If you won't, can you at least tell your father? He'll come take care of me. I've been trying to call him for days, but his phone is off, Elara pleaded. But Lily was not me. She did not possess a saint's heart. You deserve it. The fact that you're still alive is a failure of nature. And I'll tell you this, I will never, ever forgive you. Lily, I'm your mother. How can you be so cruel? Elara wailed. Huh, Lily scoffed. Dad was so sick, and you made him go out to buy groceries? You made him cook for your party? You killed him. You want my forgiveness? Fine. You can have it when you bring my father back to life. Lily hung up. Elara lay on the hospital bed, the phone slipping from her hand. Against her doctor's orders, she discharged herself and took a taxi home. The house was empty. She searched everywhere, only to find that all of my belongings were gone. After a few frantic calls to friends and relatives, the truth finally sank in. She saw the death certificate on the coffee table. She picked it up and read the date of death. It was the night of her dinner party. Tears finally streamed down her face. She collapsed to the floor in the middle of the living room and wept. That afternoon, Elara found my grave. She knelt before my headstone. Arthur, she whispered, her voice cracking. I finally understand. You were the only one in this world who was truly good to me. Why was I so foolish? Why did I throw away a man like you? For someone else? I was wrong. I was so wrong. But now I don't even have a chance to make it right. If you can hear me, can you ever forgive me? Arthur, I'm so sorry, so sorry. Just then, Lily's cold voice came from behind her. My father will never forgive you, not even if you died. Lily, please, forgive Mommy, Elara begged, grabbing at her daughter's legs. It was my fault. Please give me one more chance, for your father's sake, please. Lily shoved her away with a look of disgust. Growing up, Dad was the one who took care of me. When I was sick, he was the one who stayed by my bed. What were you doing? You were out shopping or singing karaoke. Dad bought all my clothes. Dad went to my parent-teacher conferences. You don't even know what grade I'm in. Do you have any right to call yourself Mommy? Do you feel no shame at all? Lily's words were like needles, piercing Elara's heart. Some mistakes can be forgiven, she continued, her face a blank mask. But some things, once done, can never be undone. From this day forward, you and I are strangers. With that, Lily placed a single white flower on my grave, turned, and walked away without looking back. Elara's heart shattered like glass. She knew she was wrong, but her daughter would not give her a second chance, and I was no longer there to give her one. What good was regret now? She wandered through the streets like a ghost, her mutilated face drawing stares and whispers from passers-by. What's wrong with that woman? Look at that scar. Her features are pretty, but that scar makes her look terrifying. Look, she can barely walk straight. Stay away, she might be trying to scam someone. Hey, it's her. She's famous on the forums right now, huh? Every word was a dagger in her heart. She had single-handedly destroyed her own life, trampled on the heart of the one person who truly loved her. What reason did she have to keep living? She walked to a large bridge overlooking the rushing river below. Without a moment's hesitation, she climbed over the railing and jumped. A few days later, her body was recovered. Lily, despite her words, did her final duty. She claimed the body and arranged for a simple burial. The scandal involving Elara and Julian had become the talk of the town, and unfortunately, the notoriety began to affect my daughter. When she returned to school, she was met with pointing fingers and hushed whispers. Despite the support of her friends and teachers, and the school's strict warnings against gossip, it was impossible to silence every mouth. Seeing Lily's growing depression, the school administration, fearing for her well-being, proposed a solution. They arranged for her to transfer to a school in another city. With the school's help, Lily moved away and started fresh. Being the strong girl she was, she quickly overcame the shadows of the past, embraced her new school life, and made new friends. Watching her become bright and cheerful again, my restless soul began to fade, finally finding its peace.